Hi traders, and welcome to today's ACY Securities Forex market analysis. My name is Duncan Cooper and I will be your host. Today we'll be focused on the US dollar to the Japanese yen. So first we'll look at the news items coming out for the week, and then we'll have a look at the charts. Hi traders, just at forexfactory.com. Now today I'm going to be reviewing the dollar to the Japanese yen, so I just want to look at the news items that could affect that pair during the course of the week. Alright, so I'm looking at the red calendar events. So there's nothing in Wednesday. Getting into Thursday, I know during the Asian session we've got the Japanese the Japanese Bank of Japan Outlook report, monetary policy statement coming out as well, and a press conference. So that's through the Asian session on Thursday. Getting into my evening, these times are Queensland time, 10:30 p.m. We've got the US Advanced GDP QQ coming out. Getting into Friday, same time again, 10:30 p.m. We've got the US Core PCE Price Index coming out, and a tentative item on Saturday, Treasury Currency Report. And as well, I'm noting here that we've got the G20 meeting day one on Sunday. So bear all those things in mind. They could affect the dollar yen throughout the course of the week. All right, with that in mind, let's get into the charts. Okay, so I want to focus on the dollar yen today, and notably it is in a strong uptrend. I'm on the monthly chart at the moment, and I can see on the monthly chart that we've got higher tops and bottoms coming up through here. MACD's crossed up down at the bottom. There's nothing there telling me that the trend is finished, other than we're at the top of major resistance here. So there's a couple of areas. We tested 114.54 last week, and we got short by a couple of pips of 114.72. So we traded up to a very strong monthly resistance level. And the question is that going to hold? And then is price going to move back down the range short term, maybe back down to monthly support at 112.21, or further monthly support at 110.96? Or are we going to get a much more significant decline over the course of time? Is this going to be a significant top and moving down back to the lower reaches of this major range that I've got drawn in? Or obviously the other scenario would be price is just going to move on up and through. So we just got short of the final top by about 2 or 3 pips last week. So the monthly look is quite clear. The trend is up, but we traded all the way back up to the top of that major range. Weekly, again, we've got higher bottom, higher top. Trend is up. MACD's telling us the trend is up. However, you can see last week's candle came up to 114.72. Well, it was about 114.69, and then traded down for the whole week, closing on the low of the week pretty much. So that was negative. So we may just get 1 week down before the trend resumes and then moves through, or do we start getting a reversal down? So let's just put in weekly support and resistance. Weekly resistance is at 114.20. Here we go. And weekly support is this top just here. If price moves down to that old top we've moved through. So let's just put that in. That's at 112.62.4. Here we go. Alright, so what we can see is that price has rejected, traded back down from monthly and weekly resistance, and we've moved through some old weekly tops here. The first one being, or the last one that we moved through, was 112.62. So price may well just pull back to weekly support before coming back up for a retest, or we may come up for a retest before then. But in terms of a pullback before the trend resumes, then we may just pull back to weekly support, hold, and then continue back up and through. Time will tell. So again, trend is up, but we are faltering at the moment at resistance. Let's move it to the daily. Same sort of look. We've got high tops and bottoms. Trend is up. I do note there's a little minor low in here that the market got support, came into resistance, and then we've kind of broken that. So maybe that day chart trend is just starting to look like it's changing to down. Notably, the MACD's crossed down, so I'm guessing with that cross down that we're going to get some short-term pullback. It's just whether or not that short-term pullback is going to be a longer-term pullback over the course of time. We are at a major level, so that's what I'm thinking. We're at a major level. This is worth having a look at, going counter trend and taking a position maybe for a long-term move down. And the worst scenario hopefully would be that you just get your trade to break even, and if the trend does resume, well, you had a good look at the trade and you got away with a risk-free exit. Alright, so we've had 3 days down from testing major resistance, and we're just holding here. Maybe we're just getting ready for 1 or 2 days up, so if I just draw that in, ideally we just get a couple of candles coming up, 1 or 2, and then we start to trade back down and move through the low of last week and start a daily chart downtrend. Alright, so that would be the ideal scenario. We'll get to the 4-hour chart in a moment, try and break that down. Just going to put in what I would consider to be daily support and resistance. So daily resistance is at 114.69. I'll just check in my notes, 114.69, that's this high up here, last week's high. So I may have said support, but that's daily resistance up there at 114.69. And support is at 112.62, so that's that level there. So if you go back to the weekly chart, that's the weekly level of support. It's also daily level of support. From a daily level support perspective, if that doesn't hold, your next level down here is at 112.07. Okay, so just bear those in mind as price maybe pulls back down the range. Alright, so we know that the monthly chart trend is up, the weekly chart trend is up, and the day chart trend is up. So this is obviously a counter trend trade, looking to see if we get a major failure at resistance. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 levels of resistance up here that's formed, and we may well test all of those on a retest. So let's take it down to a 4-hour chart. And last week's range was on the weekly candle, that's the high to low. And then I'd just like to assess where did the 62% or the 79% levels overlap with resistance. I can quite clearly see that 62% 114.20 overlaps with one of my resistance levels, and then the 79% like 114.42 is about 6 pips away from one of my monthly resistance levels. So watching that area, let me just draw it in. But just highlight the 79% level down to the 62. There'll be traders in there waiting to sell. So what I'm going to be doing is waiting to see if price can rally back up to the area. If it starts to hold and fail, I'm going to drop down to a lower time frame and look to execute a trade to the short side. Okay. In terms of where, first target for a move down, if you can initiate a trade, just tidying things up. I'm actually going to go back to the monthly chart. I've got a couple of monthly levels in here. There's a top here. The first monthly top as we move back down is at 112.21. So if you can initiate a sell, then that would be my first target, 112.21. If that level can be broken, your next major level of support moving down would be at 110.96. So the two major levels that the market could certainly pull up at, 112.21 or 110.96, moving down to monthly support. If those levels start to really break through, then of course then we have to bear in mind that we're failing at the top of a range here, and price could be long term moving down to major support. Alright, so if those levels can break, it'd be great if you could hold a trade to move all the way down to major support if we start to get a major reversal. Alright, that's my analysis for today. Have a great trading week. Look forward to seeing you next time.
Want a real opportunity to improve your trading? Join Duncan Cooper in his free 12-part webinar series designed to help you improve all areas of your trading. The upcoming webinars for this week: 26th of October, live Forex market review, identifying high probability trading levels. In this webinar, Duncan will analyze the trend, support and resistance, and use Fibonacci retracements to identify high probability trading levels on the major currency pairs, plus a live Q&A on your favorite charts. 27th of October, Forex trading, live market analysis. During this webinar, Duncan will review 12 currency pairs, determine the key support and resistance trading levels for the week ahead, discuss his favorite risk to reward trading opportunities, and answer your trading questions. 28th of October, live Forex market review, identifying high probability trading levels. In this webinar, Duncan will analyze the trend, support and resistance, and use Fibonacci retracements to identify high probability trading levels on the major currency pairs, plus a live Q&A on your favorite charts. We look forward to seeing you at our next live webinar to help you learn Forex and learn how to trade CFDs. Do not miss out.